This is my friend Andy.
What is good, my pack rats? Pac-Man Case here, and today, guys, one of my worst fears has come true.
His channel, if you don't know, is Pac-Man Case, and Andy has an incredible N64 collection. Take a look.
We are only 10 games away from a complete Nintendo 64 collection, and I wanted to wrap up what those last games are. And to do that, we need our trusty label list. We need NFL Blitz Special Edition, PGA European Tour, Daikatana, Goemon's Great Adventure, StarCraft 64, International Superstar Soccer 98, Duck Dodgers, Bottom of the Ninth, Worms Armageddon, and Super Bowling. That will help us complete the 296 North American collection of the N64.
That's his N64 collection. This is mine. Now, this isn't a collection measuring contest whatsoever here. This is just kind of a commentary on his latest video, which was excellent, and I think all collectors should probably read it. I want to talk to you today about collections. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jay. Glad you're here. You look fantastic, as you always do. That is a great style. You rock it. Today I want to talk to you about collections, though, and the collection mentality and the collector's mentality of what is essentially Pokemon. Gotta catch them all, you know, and when I got into video game collecting, I dabbled years ago. I was definitely into it at one time, but I kind of gave up on it about a year before I started the channel up. Kind of got back into it a little bit. And one of the things I promised myself that I would not do is become someone who would just collect for the sake of collecting. And Andy's video kind of made me realize that I lost sight of that. Now, I want to talk to you today about why that's important to me. First off, space is a huge issue in my home. We rent. We don't own. And I have a probably 10 by 6 foot area where I record. This is my office. This is where I work. It's not just my game room. It is also one of my workspaces for my, 9 to 5 job. And it can't just be full of games, as much as I would absolutely love that. I need to remember that games don't need to just be purchased for the sake of owning them. It's just not something I need to happen. So it's taken me a little bit of a kick in the ass from Andy to kind of, and unintentionally too, like his idea of what Collection 3.0 is really spoke to me.
Once it's time to really lay foundation down for what you truly love, when you truly feel like you have an identity of the things you enjoy, Collection 3.0 begins, and that's where you are curating a collection that means something to you.
Similarly, on a video from Dan Larson, who hosts the channel Secret Galaxy, formerly known as Toy Galaxy, and he talked about his evolving collection, and there was very similar talking points and kind of references there between what Andy was experiencing and what Dan experienced with his collections.
I sold my collection to save my collection. Collection 2.0 had no form, no design, no focus, no intent. It was unchecked growth expanding in every direction, consuming all the resources, A to Z, and 3 copies of everything in between. If my collection was going to survive, if I was going to survive, I had to reinvent what my collection was to me. Collection 3.0, the collection I have now, is an active, fluid thing, expanding and contracting to meet my needs, to suit my lifestyle, driven by my interests from day to day, from year to year. Pieces come, pieces go, subsets develop and are regularly pruned to keep them healthy.
And I think as collectors, we all kind of go through it. Like when you first start off collecting, it's very much the nostalgia is hitting you. Like no one's born a collector. No one's starting off with, when you purchase a video game or you buy an action figure or anything like that, you're not buying it as a kid to hold on to it forever, complete in box, mint, and package. You're buying it to play with it. And the collections typically start when we hit adulthood, when we start having that disposable income, and we have those nostalgia pangs hit, and we see something that catches our fancy. Like I know for me, one of the things that really got me back into collecting toys was I was reading a lot of comics at the time, and there was a G.I. Joe series called G.I. Joe Cobra, which starred my favorite G.I. Joe character, Chuckles. Chuckles was kind of a laughingstock. He wasn't a serious character. No one loved him, but I did. I thought he was great. He was a guy in a Hawaiian shirt in this army full of these prototypical badasses. There was Chuckles, who went into war wearing a Hawaiian shirt with a briefcase and a pistol in a holster shoulder. He was basically Magnum P.I., just blonde and without a mustache. Mike Costa, who was one of my favorite comic writers, wrote G.I. Joe Cobra and wrote this amazing tribute to the character and turned him from kind of a joke into an all-star, an absolute legendary character, a fantastic G.I. Joe character, and that was when I started buying retro G.I. Joes. Because if you see here, this autograph right here is from Mike Costa, the guy who was writing the book at the time. He came into the comic shop I was working at, and he did a signing for G.I. Joe Cobra, and I got him to sign my Chuckles figure. And that just opened the floodgates, because then it was time to start buying more vintage Joes, and some vintage He-Man toys, and Muscle Men, and stuff like that. And it just kind of spiraled out of control, to the point where I was buying probably 6 or 7 new Star Wars figures every week for no reason other than to have them. I mean, my display was cool. I had a hell of a clone army, but there was no need for me to have the stuff. It was just stuff to have. Didn't really fulfill any need. After I bought that Chuckles figure, that nostalgia itch was scratched, but then the addiction began, and that's really what collecting can become. The 2.0 collection is the point where I kind of find myself right now, where it's just buy it. Just buy everything. Put it in the collection, put it on the shelf, and call it a day. And that's never been my ideal goal with video games. Like, for me, starting this channel was to celebrate my love of games and celebrate the things that I enjoy. And it's kind of gone from there. Like, it's been a while since I just picked up something because I loved it. It was more a case of I bought something because I needed to have it. Now, that's not to say that's been every purchase. Like, obviously, like when I went to Midwest Gaming Classic, I got some games there that I truly enjoy. Like, Mega Man 3 was not bought because I needed to have it. It's because I wanted to have Mega Man 3 back in my collection. Same with Ultima Quest of the Avatar. But I didn't need any of those Japanese N64 imports. I don't own a Japanese N64. I don't have a tray that would allow me to play them. It was a ridiculously unnecessary purchase, but I was wrapped up in kind of that collecting mindset where it was just, I need to have it, I need to have it, I need to have it. And over the last couple of weeks, I've kind of been sitting here thinking about it and realizing that the collection just doesn't bring me the satisfaction that it used to anymore. Now, this isn't going to be a case, this isn't like, the RGT, when he sold his collection, there was extenuating circumstances behind that, and frankly just brought him no more joy. And that's the perfect time to get rid of a collection. Now, am I going to be getting rid of mine? No, I'm not. Am I going to get rid of parts of it? Yes, absolutely. And that's where conventions come in. That's where I'll be vending stuff and having stuff for sale there, and I will definitely be putting stuff up at that point. But I'm not just going to be wholesale clearing the backlog out and getting rid of everything, because there's still plenty of stuff I love. But look at this. I'm going to show you some footage now of my Switch collection. And these are all games that I've played and all games that I've enjoyed, but I can't tell you the last time I really sat down and just poured time into one of these games. Like, I'm still playing the first Xenoblade. I played it on the Wii. I played it on the 3DS. I'm playing it on the Switch. And I'm only at the point now where I can look at it and say, whew, good. I've actually gotten past every point I've been at before. That's a problem. That's a ridiculous place to find yourself in. So my focus collecting going forward is no longer going to be just buying for the sake of buying. The money I make from the channel is going to go back into things for like Video Games Monthly, because I do enjoy doing those videos and I do love the lottery aspect of it. But those games primarily are going to be flipped down the road. But going to a convention now, it's not going to be just piling up on NES games or piling up on Game Boy games or anything like that. It's going to be setting myself a list, looking for specific things, and not really allowing myself to stray too far from it. That's not to say it won't happen. It absolutely will. There are certain things that you just don't think of when you're making a list that you're going to run into at a convention or at a store, and you're going to want to pull the trigger on those. I genuinely enjoy collecting. I really do, but I think it's time to enjoy collecting while enjoying the collection as well. When Andy was talking in his video about his N64 collection and the pursuit of getting the entire N64 collection from North America. To me, that sounds like a nightmare because I can't fathom having that many games I don't care about. But for him, it's a pursuit because it's a console he adores and he loves it and he wants to go after it. And I wish him nothing but the best in that endeavor because he's really damn close. He's like, I think he's single digits away now, which is ridiculous to me. But I look at it now with my collection, and the stuff that I get the most joy out of is starting to build up the games I used to own when I had an NES when I was younger. Or looking at SNES games or Genesis games that I loved to play or loved to rent and adding those to the collection now, as opposed to hoping that they were in stock at Blockbuster that weekend. And I think that's how it's going to go from here on out. I don't think it's just going to be a wholesale purchase anymore. I don't think it's going to be a just kind of wanton destruction of my bank account to accumulate all of these games. I think I'm just going to go for the things I want to go for. And I'm going to call it a collection and be happy with it. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys do for your collection? Are you a wholesale collector? Because honestly, this is just me. I want to know what you guys do for collecting. If you get joy out of the thrill of the hunt and tracking down games, then that's fantastic. And I would love to hear about your latest score, about your favorite thing that you have found randomly. And if you're someone who just collects the things that they love, let me know what you're after. You know, this is a pretty cool community that we're in, and we can all help each other out. And there's not saying, you know, we can't trade and sell or anything in the comment section or anything like that, but it's something where we can at least be on the lookout for each other. I know a lot of us are here in the Midwest. I know a lot of folks are on the West Coast and on the East Coast, and sorry, like Utah, Montana, Idaho, there's not a lot of folks from that region from what I've found, but you know, out on the coasts here in the Midwest, there's a huge community, and talking in the comments and discussing with people what shows you're going to and what stuff you're on the lookout for, there's always a chance to find stuff there. Like some of my best friends, like Gary, Chris, Riggs, Hancock, we talk about this stuff all the time, and we're always looking out for each other for things that we want to add to our collection, and not just like wholesale lots, like I said, just like actual sentimental items that we want to add. So let me know. I've talked a lot here and said not much, I feel, but it's just a case of when I was looking for some stuff the other day and I was kind of going through my collection and alphabetizing things, because yes, I'm that guy, I alphabetize my games. I realized that there was a lot of stuff that I owned that I just didn't care about.
Like, here's a perfect example. I don't own a Magnavox Odyssey 2, but I sure do own a copy of Hockey and Soccer. Why?
And it's time to change that. So look for my collection to be on sale at the Illinois Game Con in June. I'll be there with Gary from Rock Solid Productions and Robert and Wes from Gaming Off the Grid. Really looking forward to hanging out with all of them and getting some stuff sold and just going to a good convention and having a grand old time. Next show I'll be at is Korg's Con in Columbus, Ohio on May 12th. I hope you will be there. It's going to be a great show. Some awesome people are going to be there. John Hancock, Mr. Rightway, Retro Wolf 85, the boys from Retro Gaming Pandemic, who I can't wait to see again. Just a great lineup of folks, and it's going to be a great show. Korgs was excellent last year, and it will be excellent again this year. And if you are someone in the Midwest and you do like to collect and you like to find the obscure stuff, that is the show for you. All right, like I said, I've talked for a long time and said not much, but thanks for watching. Appreciate you being here. If you dug this, subscribe or hit the like button or leave a comment down below. All that stuff helps the channel out a whole lot. Until next time, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.